If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast, with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
Last time on Lawful Stupid, you are in the Red Roof Inn, the Sangria Swan, and you reach over and you say, "Do you have any dancers for the evening?" "Oh yeah, we've got a band playing for tonight, but I'm sure we have some openings the next few nights." And you find a spot at the bar top. It's pretty busy, and I'm gonna say that you kind of get some information. They would tell you to go to the store Assault and Battery, because the owner there tends to be known as a gossip. Welcome to Assault and Battery. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm curious about what you know of other adventurers of the area that may be more helpful for our adventures.
Listen, you can either try to ride with the Guardians, or you can look in the business district. You leave the Assault and Battery and you head to the middle tier. There's almost like message board-esque posts around. Well, you guys spend some time looking through it because there's a lot of requests. You find there is a transport leaving out this afternoon, and they are looking for hired muscle to protect the transport from here to Havenholde. You guys join up with this caravan. All right, off we go. Hop in your wagon. Let's go. Without waiting for you, signals to their driver, and they march. We watch as all 4 wagons head towards the gate that exits Prentice, and here is where our journey begins. We pick back up as our adventurer's new caravan has sprung forth from the walls of Prentice proper. And I remind everyone that we have 3 Black Lotus potion wagons charging forth into the relatively unknown, and then followed up by the Panda Express. And the riding scenario is such that Gustum is driving, Kato is riding shotgun, and Darling is riding on top.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where our story begins. Is there anything you guys want to do on that first ride through the first day before we just make the passage of time?
Whenever we stop for the day and make camp, Gustum would go hunting again. Try to scrounge up some food to feed these fools.
Okay. So you guys travel for about a day, and it's important to know that there is a path. There is a road. It is dirt. It is worn. As you're traveling, you see other carts go by. You do see one cart that goes by, or one wagon that goes by, that is less wagon comparatively, because you've got wood, you've got wheels. This one has more metals. It's got these blue arcane gems on it. And it's got wooden wheels, but they're like reinforced with some metal, and it seems to be moving considerably faster than y'all's wagon. And it definitely looks a little more high end. What?
What's pulling it?
Nothing.
Is it magic is moving it?
It is self-propelled.
That's neat.
Must be nice.
Does it have any markings or anything on it that is names or anything that I don't know if you want to roll for that or.
Nope, nothing identifiable. You don't have to roll for that.
Okay.
It's more of a generic build. As you guys are going, it's important to note that as soon as you get out the gate walls, you are mostly going through forest for quite a bit of that. And then it starts to open up, and you're still in what I would consider woods. But if you've ever been to the West Coast, the woods are spaced out there where you could actually walk between the woods. On the East Coast, most of our woods are very clustered, like if you had to walk through it, it's actually a mess. But on the West Coast, a lot more of their woods is spaced out a little bit where you can kind of walk through the trees. That's what we're experiencing now as you're going down this path. Fucking Hamilton reference. You're going down this path. You can actually see into the tree lines pretty good, and you can see walks fly, and you can see small creatures that you haven't really seen before. Some squirrel-like, some variants of birds, and so you do that, and the caravan is pulled to a stop at the end of the day, and they kind of they ask you to circle the wagons up. Is that something you're interested in doing, Gustum?
Oh, of course. Yeah, there's safety in numbers.
Perfect. So you guys pull off the path a little bit into this open wooded area, circle up the wagons, and a fire is started in the center, just to kind of give people a place to cook and be warm. And you were planning to cook for everyone. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you want to hunt first before?
Yeah, I want to. This is farm to table, very fresh.
Oh, okay,
I'll go with him as well.
Sure. What would you like to do, darling, while they go hunting, or do you want to join them?
No, she's gonna let them do them, and she's gonna be entertainment and help with camp.
Yeah, why don't you get them all ready to eat, little Sprout? Why don't you get that appetite going with your expression?
Of course, I got it. Have fun. Be careful.
Word.
Yeah, so let's go with the hunting. You're just looking for small game, right? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing fantastic, nothing like for my abilities, just trying to get everybody fed. In fact, what I will do is I will cast locate animals or plants, and I'll look for like hares,
like rabbits, essentially.
Yeah, rabbits. Yeah. Anything in that family.
In that field. Do me a favor and roll survival with advantage since Kato is going with you.
That is a 25, sir.
That's pretty good. Yeah, so excuse me. You use the spell to look for a rabbit/hare monster. And you're able to use this to track and successfully hunt down these. They're almost silver furred in nature, and they have these black eyes, like pure black eyes, and their ears are floppy, that they fall down to their side, the side of their head, and they kind of flop around. And instead of having like a puffy tail, their tail is more dog-like. And their back feet and their front feet are both comically large for their bodies. And so you're able to hunt up enough of those to feed the entire camp tonight.
Cool. And then I'm also going to want... I'm going to want to garnish this with something. Can I find any sort of like fruit? Is there any kind of something like that growing here?
You can find Yep. You can find. You find a bush, and it's full of these like pink, almost like ribbed berries, and like you would inspect that one to determine if it's like, if like the laws of nature determine if it's poisonous or not. And with a 25, you feel very confident that it's not poisonous.
What's it taste like? Pop one in my mouth.
Oh man, how to describe taste without just referencing other food is a new strength that I'll have to come across.
Sometimes it helps to like combine. You can be like, oh, it kind of tastes like it's got the consistency of a blueberry, but it tastes kind of like an orange, or whatever.
Well, I'm gonna do my best without referencing a bunch of other fruit because that feels lazy. But it is sweet with a it is almost it's almost like full of seeds, but they're not seeds. It's like these like grit that comes in it. So when you bite into one, it's juicy, and I'm gonna have to use a bunch of these fucking words. It's juicy and it's very fresh feeling. It's very hydrating feeling, but there's almost this this grit that's in it that if you eat too many, it'll like sandpaper your tongue. If you know.
Got it. Cool. Yeah. With that in hand, I'm gonna go start cooking.
And you do. Shane, I tasked this for you while I'm setting up the other scenes. You're going to have to name the berries and the monster.
Okay. The berry will be. I'll think about that while you do that.
Yeah, I'm giving you room for that. You
Appreciate
know what I mean?
You.
And that way you're not just like pink berryitis.
Yeah.
So while they're hunting, darling, what is it that you do at the camp?
Well, she's gonna help, like, settle in, help set up what other stuff need to be put up, like the fire, seats, whatever, help tie down horses. A little bit old hat at this because she did it with the Asylum of Style. Like, she knows how to at least work her way around a caravan to at least keep it safe enough.
Feed and water, sugar and spice, maybe do some brushing.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And then when she's all done with that, and if they're not back from hunting yet, she'll like gather up whoever. When it seems like they're kind of done and winding down, she'll see if anybody wants to like dance or stretch. Because sitting on a cart all day long sucks. So limber up those limbs. If you have to run around at night, if we have to defend the carts, then you don't want to be stiff and gross. And make it fun. Make it a dance. Jazzercise. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think you get one of the other drivers who's, driving is boring a lot of the time, especially if you don't have like a lot of entertainment. You get one of them and he pulls out like a flute and he kind of plays some music, and you're able to rope in one of these highwaymen to just dance with you. Roll me a performance check, please.
Yeah, sure. How does a 24 sound?
Made up.
Pretty low. Let me see that dice roll now. You get the impression, excuse me. You get the impression that the music and the dancing has kind of taken the edge off some of these people. Where before they felt very stiff, very methodical, they seem much more relaxed. And as you're dancing, Kato and Gustum, you return to the sound of laughter and music, and the warmth of this caravan.
All right, now we're vibing. All right.
Our sister has single-handedly raised the morale of this group of brigands.
You guys are working up an appetite. I better get to work.
Or do you need any help, or should I stay here?
No, keep doing what you're doing. Everybody's having a great time.
She'll happily keep on adding fun. She'll bring Kato in on it too. Make him make those
Kato
stiff
does
robot.
the robot.
Ones.
It's very much like Kato has a rope between his right hand and his right foot. So like anytime that's going, like in left foot, it's like they just kind of move together. He doesn't really quite get how to move them on their own.
My groovy module has malfunctioned.
But he is enjoying it. He's not embarrassed. Like I don't think he understands embarrassment quite yet. So he's just happy to experience this. I think he's going to learn some things along the way, but this isn't not yet.
And so night falls. The time has come and night falls, and it can only be explained that this level of darkness is a blanket upon the world, both secure and all-encompassing, both warm and inviting, and enigmatic. That took a lot of work to get out.
That's what she said.
But Gustum, you finish your meal, and what do you make?
Yeah, so what I've got for everybody is it is moonling kebabs. That's what I've named these rabbit creatures, are moonlings.
Say it again.
Ooh,
moonlings.
Moonly. Okay, I'm just thinking. Thank you.
And that's with I've made a glaze from our berries, which I've named Pilgrim's Friend. Because I suspect they could keep one fed on a journey. They were traveling and they knew these were safe. So that's what I called them. But I made kind of like a sweet berry glaze, and I grilled that rabbit meat in the glaze and kind of did those up on kebabs. And then I don't know if this will catch on, but I've separated their absurdly large feet to sell as good luck charms.
Nice.
But I guess it's going to depend. I think that my ability to sell these as good luck charms will be greatly determined by how delicious the food is.
Okay. Do me a favor and make a roll with your chef's tools.
I will. Okay, here we
Or your
go.
cooking tools. Cooking utensils, whatever the artisan. Yeah.
That is a dirty 20.
That's pretty good. And so you start dishing out these dishes. And so I imagine they're on plates, these little mound of meat that's covered.
No, my guy.
Okay.
On sticks, just big sticks, just kebabs.
Oh, you said kebabs. My bust. Yeah. So you make I'm trying to write these down, even if I don't remember them. Kebabs.
Braised berry moonling kebabs.
And so you're walking around and giving out these kebabs, and people are just fucking destroying them. And you hear Raffle, the lead highwayman that you spoke to earlier. As you like are going around, you're coming back around, and he's like finishing up one. He kind of reached out his hand for another one. Oh, just one more of those. Those really good.
Oh man, we got plenty to go around, my guy.
What does Darling and Kato think of kebabs?
As a mechanical being, I rolled a 16, so he's enjoying these. These are good to him.
Oh, she's digging it. She's loving it. It's a good meal. It's better than rations over and over again. She'll even help pass them out and take any of what Kato doesn't eat, since he doesn't really need to.
Kato only eats. I'm only trying this because my brother makes it. I don't eat to like be filled in any way. I'm just doing it because I can taste, but it doesn't do anything for me as far as the filling.
It does everything for me.
It's their soul. One of the highwaymen breaks out a keg, and people start drinking.
Oh, this guy's trouble.
Is there anything else you guys would like to do before you turn in?
Not really. I guess establish watch with the other people that are all doing it.
Well, so total, there are 10 other people.
Mm-hmm.
So you only have to take watch if you want to watch.
I think I would do.
Remind you.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. No. Go ahead. You
I
make
think
your decision.
if they need someone in a rotation, I'm more than willing to help with it because they've allowed us to tag along kind of last minute. I know we're assisting them as well, but if it's needed for whatever reason, I would be willing to offer services.
It depends on how hard you push because it's not needed. But if you want to do a rotation, people don't want to be awake, right?
Darling would like to do one of the first rotations, just because they're here to help. And you can provide some light to see out a little bit further from their caravan.
Gustum is pretty drunk. Gustum is right now finding different things in the woods to fry in hot oil and cover in salt to try to make the tastiest beer snacks.
How far from the caravan are you going?
Not far at all.
Based on how you asked me.
I'm like I've got like other people involved in this. I'm with the guys who have the keg. I'm like, got some bread. Let's go fry this up. And I'll be like reaching in my magic pouch and be like, garlic.
I will say that you're able to find
mushrooms. Maybe could do some mushrooms.
I was gonna say nuts.
Ooh, some nuts.
So
love nuts.
I know. He's a bad man.
I know you do.
I do.
You find these small dark green / chestnut colored almost seeds. But they're more nut-like than seeds. Their side of their body is really hard and tough, but then they're almost like oval shaped. The oval pieces are soft.
Nice.
So you find some of those and you can roast those up and prepare a name for them.
Scrunchies.
Yes.
Scrunchy seeds.
Scrunchums. Everybody's favorite snack, scrunchums.
Scrunchy seeds. That's what we'll write down. So yeah, you do that, and you're able to fry some of those up and or roast some of them, or whatever your choice is.
Both. We're trying everything. We're getting nutty over
doing
here.
A little bit of everything. As night,
and I'm like,
no, go ahead.
And I'm like, you know what you need, my dude? Keep you safe on the road. Lucky Moonling Foot. Only 10 gold.
Roll persuasion.
I will offer up the disadvantage because I am drunk.
I was gonna call it even because they're drunk too.
Ooh, evensies because we're both drunk. I like it. That is a 12, sir.
I think you get 10 gold.
I'll tell you what, I like your face, my dude. 5 gold.
I'll tell you what. Let's see that in action. We'll be together for a couple days. If that makes you as lucky as you are a good cook, then I could pay you the 10 gold. Fun fact, 10 gold is like 40-something electrium. That power source. Whatever that mystical thing is.
Okay. But if I am lucky, you gotta buy the foot, 10 gold pieces, and you gotta have a dance off with my sister.
I agree to the first, and we'll think about the second. Alcohol is required for these dance moves. And he moves his arms around really erratically. And what he thinks is seductive, but it's not.
You don't know if I'm seduced or not. No, I'm happily married. I love May. Okay, I'm good with this.
And so the night, I write that down. 10 gold rabbit foot deal. All right, so the night starts to come to an end. The fire is put out. You can see that Rathel makes clear work to make sure the fire is put out. And Darlin has offered to take first watch. So everybody starts to settle in. You notice about half of them sleep. Not half, about 4 of them sleep in their carts, like Instacarts. The rest have some makeshift tents and sleeping bags that they're all racking out in. And Kato, where is it that you sleep? Or you power down, rather, your chill time?
I think it's on top of the cart, on top of our cart, laying flat.
Okay.
Just so I can be aware of anything outside of the cart happening.
And as you're powering down and looking up, it can only be described as this patchwork canopy of these trees above you, leading into this deep, dark, star-filled sky with the moon not in its full strength, but you can't stop the moon. Providing just the smallest sliver of light. Not enough to actually light up the area around you like a full moon would be, but enough that it's a very beautiful and calming view. Gustum, where is it that you sleep?
You see a panda-spotted donkey curled up with sugar and spice, and a little bit of a donkey cuddle puddle.
Oh.
Like all 3 of them bedded down in the field, doing donkey snugs,
And Darlin, as you set up for watch and you're looking out, are you setting up your lights, or are you going to do watch without them?
I was going to ask Rathel, because I would have noticed him taking out the campfire light, because that is of note.
Yeah, go ahead.
Any particular reason why you're taking out the light? Or even a dimmer fire?
There's things can hear us. They can smell us. Not giving them something to see.
Then I will not use lights. I'll do my best to keep watch this evening then.
And so you do. You keep watch and roll me a perception check.
Yeah, sure. Perception. That'll be a 19. Could I also, while doing watch, like as I move about, because she'll be actively walking around the area, to also kind of like prestidigitate most of the camp to smell like more like grasses, like that fresh grass scent that's kind of around them, to hide them even further?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
And so
That's some gangster shit.
your watch goes as it comes, peacefully into the night. Your ears filled with the cooing and the bird noises and the silence of the world around you. It is peaceful. It is calm. It is the opposite of what anyone has ever described of Agos and Prenneth. And you all wake up. And you all prepare for the next day's journey. Gustum, what do you make for everybody in the morning for breakfast?
I think we agreed just one meal a day.
Okay, what do you make for your crew?
But for my team, we are having leftover scrunchums.
It is just as good
nice.
the next day.
It really is. People say, "Oh, you can't have leftover scrunchies," but you really can if you take your time and you heat them up on low, slow heat, get them back to where they were. You're rocking and rolling.
And the wagons, they uncircle, they begin to pull off, and the same form, the same marching order is pushed forward. And you ride through forest for what feels like another 2 hours, and it's not until a little bit later that there is a break in the forest, and you come out, and you're on this road, and it's dirt path, a little bit of grass as you're traveling through this well-worn area, and you notice that you guys on your left and your right, there are these fields, these wide fields, and there's 4 foot tall like flowers, and there's fields of them 4 foot tall, and they've got these beautiful yellow, almost pinwheel shaped flowers, and they're just everywhere, and this field goes on for a good 30 minutes of your ride as you guys are riding through, and it's important to know that you see at least Gustum, you've seen like duskin deers moving through these fields just very peacefully, like they took notice of you as you guys are passing by, but ultimately they don't seem very skittish of you.
Delicious.
You continue your journey several hours in. After this golden field of flowers, there's some more open grassland, but then you find yourself dipped back into these woods where they're a little bit spaced out. You can kind of see things coming, but you also notice this road that you're riding is kind of built up, almost like either the ground around it was deformed, or if naturally they just happened to be riding on this higher tier of ground. So it's almost like natural ditches, except for there's no rise on the other side, right? And so you travel this path for a while, and you are getting to experience the woods and the woods and the forest, and almost this calmness that you have never expected. Everybody do me a favor and roll perception checks.
Yeah, sure.
I would love to.
There's a 14 for Kato.
Big 11 from Gus.
That's a 7 from Darling.
To your surprise, the second cart, the second wagon, the Black Lotus wagon, explodes. Zebra explodes, and there's a lot of commotion, a lot of halt. The first wagon is almost thrown forward. It ends up skidding sideways. The wagon directly in front of you has to veer off, and the horses attached to it and the wagon, it's not pretty as they come across off of this higher road and crash into the ground. Gustum, roll me a vehicle check.
You got it.
Because you're moving at a decent speed, not an uncontrollable speed.
That is a 7, sir.
Yeah, so you do run into, so that first cart goes off and Sugar and Spice become erratic at the sound of this explosion, and then this cart comes up. So you're trying to get them under control. You manage to stay on the road, but you are much closer to this wagon that is now on fire with this blue-green flame as it's burning.
The wagons come to a halt?
Your wagon has come to a halt, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to hop off and head towards the burning carriage to see if I can help.
Yeah, absolutely. All three of you?
No, I'm actually going to pipe up and say, brother, the wise thing to do is to keep moving around this. I will check them out as you move our car out of the way. We might be sitting targets for the next attack.
But what if somebody's hurt?
I will check it out and report back to you as soon as possible. It doesn't seem positive that anyone will have lived that explosion, but I'll be sure to assist them if they have.
All right, my dude, all right.
So yeah, you're able to work the wagon around this explosion. It's tight, so because it's not like these are huge pathways. So you can feel the heat radiate off this wagon as you come around, and you eventually have to stop because the other wagon's like catty cornered up there, and they haven't moved yet. Their highwaymen are getting off and setting up a perimeter, and you hear Ratham shouting orders. You over there, perimeter. You get with me. Find some water. Get the potions. Cato, you run to the flaming wagon. And what is your plan?
So as far as the people, they've been traveling on top of this thing. Do I know if there are people that were inside of this wagon?
You do. After traveling, you would know that that wagon contained 5 people. It contained a driver, a highwayman, and 3 people inside.
I'm going to rip off whatever I can as far as doors or an entryway that would be into the inside of this wagon. Or try.
So you have that option. The back wagon, it's almost like caved in. Or caved upwards a little bit. The explosion came from what you can tell, the center of the wagon.
Like from inside? Like it was an implosion?
Well, the explosion exploded it upwards. So either from your perspective, it was either inside or directly under the wagon.
Okay.
So you can go in the back door, or you can go like into the heart of the fire and go in one of these open like explosion areas.
Back door or less fire.
Yeah, you're a strong boy. This is not structurally sound at any point. It is very hot as you rip off one of these doors. And it is as you poke your head and you climb up, doing your best not to get burnt. And it is hot. Like you can feel the heat. You surmise very quickly that the 3 people inside are no longer with us to save the gory details. There are remains. You can identify that they weren't vaporized, but they are not living.
Okay, I'm going to vacate that and then go back around the front to see if I can see the driver and the highwayman.
Yeah, so you go around and the driver was thrown forward off the side, and you can tell that he did not survive. He landed in a way that is not conducive to breathing. And the highwayman, you can see that he was charred from his backside. And You can roll a medicine check. See if he has made it.
It's a 4.
You believe him to be dead.
Okay. How far? And our cart is still the back cart, correct?
It will
Express
be now,
is-
and there's 2 carts.
Yes.
Because one cart is on the side who crashed. You are in front of the one that exploded. And now you have the one that's catty-cornered and Gustum.
Yeah, I'd like to walk back up to the road and see if, when that happened, if there's anything there from that, where they were when the explosion happened.
So when the explosion happened, it kind of exploded and stayed in its relative position. It kind of moved forward a little bit, but it did not go off the side. It did. The cart that went off the side, the wagon that went off the side, was the one behind the wagon that exploded.
Oh, gosh, it's just to escape them.
So that's the one that crashed, yeah.
All right, I just want to kind of look around, see if anyone is, and then I'm going to jet. I just want to see if there's anyone around at this time.
Yeah, roll a perception check.
No, it's a 3.
You see the scene that I've laid forth. Nothing.
Okay. And just seeing that nothing is, other than like this is bad, I will run to catch up to the Panda Express.
And you do, without issue. Avon.
I wanted to know, because prestidigitation does allow some ability to snuff out a small campfire. Can I work at the fire little by little? Does it even work?
It is too hot. What you notice is you can prestidigitate to keep, you have to keep at it, but you can keep the flames at bay from spreading because you are in the woods. But these are very hot fires.
I would like to keep at it while the other guys are getting water.
I'm going to wild shape into a large badger, a cave badger, and I'm going to dig with my big... I have a burrow speed, so I can dig. I'm just gonna get a bunch of loose dirt to throw on there, try to snuff the flame out.
Okay, perfect. So the other 5 members who are remaining, 2 of which were on the cart that has crashed. So you can hear shouts from them, but the 3 that are up on that front wagon, they're running back. Rasham, that's not his name.
Rathel?
Rathel and his 2 guards, or his 2 companions, run over and they've got buckets of water. And Darlin, you're just left, right, trying to keep it at bay, right? And you've got Gustum, who's literally building like piles of dirt, so you guys are able to throw it on these flames. Rathel and his 2 guards throw water on these flames, and immediately the flames shoot back. One of the guard is like burnt as he's throwing the bucket. His hands kind of catch fire.
No water, my dudes. It's like a grease fire. Dirt.
And so they hear you, and they, like one guy with burnt hands, they're starting to throw dirt, and you can see that as the dirt starts to cover the flames, it starts to extinguish bits and pieces of them. And so with some effort, and I think Cato, I think you would start to join in, unless you plan to just stand there. You're just throwing dirt, and it takes a lot of work, but you're able to extinguish the flames.
Excellent work. You all may be wondering, who is this badger? It's me, Gus, your chef.
I suspect a bit of cross-contamination. However, the food still remains delicious.
I run a very hygienic kitchen, and I do not appreciate your dispersions, brother. That's right. Your brother. Yes, that's right, robot. It's me, your badger brother.
Our family tree.
And here's our sister, the furry. I'm also a furry. We're both furries.
We're both furries. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Darling would be a furry, and Gustum would be a little more close to reality.
Actually, frankly, if I didn't want to go down any sort of lycanthrope-esque rabbit holes, but I believe technically I would be an Ursanthrope.
Good to know. An Ursi. Rathel and the two other guards rush over and it's gonna slide down that embankment.
I want to fuck Smokey the Bear. Is that okay?
Yeah,
It's
weird.
Am I allowed to
Is
want
it?
to fuck?
That's what downtime is for.
Yeah.
Downtime. What did you gain
I'm a
from
furry. I've been hating against the community this whole time because I'm
Jealous.
ashamed of who I am.
If you were a cat, would you fuck a cat? Nah, man, I'm not gonna fuck it. No, but like if you were a cat,
If you were a cat,
would you?
like,
This guy
Are we talking
fucks
about like an-
cats.
are we talking about like an Animorph situation?
Yeah. So Rathel and the other guards slide down. They quickly start helping the other two, the driver and the highwayman on the other cart. What do you guys do?
Fires out.
Fires out.
What can we sell?
Everybody who's alive is good.
Everybody who is alive is still alive.
Is anybody who's alive that's hurt?
Yeah, the guy that burnt his hands. And then they're tending to the people that crashed their cart, their wagon.
Yeah, I'll roll up and pop out a wild shape for Burnt Hand Man and hit him with the old boop 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 boop. It's not called Lay on Hands. It's called Cure Wounds.
Yeah, cure wounds. Yeah, and you're able to use that spell to mend his hands really quickly, and he immediately feels better, and he's starting to work. Gustum, do me a favor, roll a perception check.
You got it, my guy. $12.
You get down by the cart, you're healing him. You're able to determine that the other two have small injuries, but they are not bad. They're like sprains and bruises. Nothing that's not serviceable. Good to go from there. Gus, Darling, Kato, anything else?
I'm just head on a swivel, I think. If everyone's being tended to and we're okay, I'm kind of maybe helping pick up, but I'm more worried about what happens next. I've been in battle long enough to know that this wasn't just... Nothing should come from this now. This is targeted.
Well, once all the people are taken care of, like, do we know what the fuck? Like, it just blew. Do we know why it blowed up? Do we know why, Bang?
I would like to investigate and take a look, see where it kind of started. The big boom part.
You approach this cart. Roll an investigation check.
Good luck, my girl.
Why boom? Dwayne, how come boom?
We'll find out.
That's a 19.
With the 19, it does take you about 15 minutes, but you're able to go through the car and look, and there's dirt everywhere, and everything is charred, and the wood is like heavily damaged, but you're able to determine two things. One, the explosion came from the inside. Two, the cabinets and lock boxes that contain the potions and materials have exploded and are in pieces.
Weird. She'll bring out, because is it like a small locked box? In my mind, I'm picturing like a case.
Well, you can bring out one. There was a lot of potions, and like all three of these wagons were loaded up with a lot of potions to take to New Havenholde.
She'll bring one out and just wait until everyone's kind of like a little bit gathered. Well, it seems like the potions exploded in the cart. Is there a particular way that we should be caring for these? Or is it just rattle and it explodes? Rattle too much anyway.
You see Rathel. He's like climbing up from this like embankment, and he's kind of hearing you. He goes, "No, ma'am. These are all highly secured. You can see our wagon, and you can see the wagon down there. We put things in place because these are bumpy roads. They are not safe. We don't want any of these to just be knocked loose."
Well, it's not a pretty sight inside. Even more of them are like this.
So.
I understand they are potions of some sort. Are they? My guess would be exploding potions. What would do that?
Oh, we do have some potions. I mean, we don't have. I'd have to go look at the inventory list to see what was in that wagon. But we have everything ranging from healing potions, invisibility potions, to, fire breathing potions. Lots of weird mixes that could cause some problems like that.
Okay, but what about like the dudes on the cart? Did anybody hate them? Did anybody want them to be dead?
Not that I know of. They all seem fine, like fine mercenaries and fine people. I had no reason to suspect that anyone wanted any of them dead. But we've done
So
this
this
run
is just
a
like-
handful of times.
A freak bummer.
Mm-hmm.
One of
Were
those freak bummers that happens.
any of them
It's not good.
salvageable, Dwayne? Or is it
The
just
potions?
just like any boxes?
No.
No.
But
All
if
dead.
I were to just sip at the floorboards of the wagon, would I have superpowers?
Yeah, absolutely. You can turn into a badger twice a day.
I do that.
Oh shit! You didn't expect this. Kate, I'm turning into a badger twice a day now. You said it.
Yeah, that's Devin,
What's
you can
different
turn
on
into a
Warforged? You blow up.
CR0 badger twice a day.
Everyone was on a cart as we traveled this road, correct? I
Correct.
want to see if there are footprints around the area prior to the thing exploding.
Yeah, roll investigation check.
It's a 12. And what
Yeah, so you're looking.
specifically humanoid, not horse or cart.
Yeah, not monster, not cart tracks. Yeah, I get you. Something foreign. You're going around this cart and this wreckage, and you're looking for tracks or some sign of foul play from an external source that you're able to discern. And you're not able to find anything externally that makes sense.
I'll say, Rathel, aside from the casualties, are all your men present?
Rathel looks around and he sees the two that are relatively banged up. The one that's got the burnt hands and the other guy who helped. So, yeah, they're all here.
If someone was going to destroy your goods, couldn't they have done it yesterday?
I suppose they could have done it yesterday. I mean, I don't
And
know.
before you took off, you checked your own gear to ensure that it was properly secured?
Of course, I checked the front wagon, and the drivers and the highwaymen are supposed to check their wagons before they go off, make sure everything's still secured. But honestly, nothing should have been touched. We have no reason to be unsecuring any of these things since we left Brenna.
If I may, do you got more, Devin?
No, go ahead. Yeah. We'll see how it shakes out.
I'd like to go ahead and shift, which when Gustum is in his normal mode, what that basically looks like is when in a cartoon where you have a big fat guy who takes like a deep breath and he's just fucking hella jacked. That's exactly what happens to Gustum. Like his facial features become more prominent, and like his hair. He's kind of got like these sideburns where they extend down, and he just kind of gets a little bit more bestial and just ripped, just hella jacked, like probably the sexiest man who's ever lived. You see him and you're like, oh, he's got like that dad bod. He's such a good husband.
Oh god, that's a hot Ryan Reynolds in beast form.
But then he just, and it's just like, oh my god. And also he's built like the mountain from Game of Thrones.
Oh gosh,
like, damn. Want to cut me off a piece. Anyway, what that's going to let me do is sniff real good. Now I'd like to go into the sniff zone.
So you want to go and use your sniffing on the cart?
Just everywhere. I want to give the surrounding area.
Roll me a perception check with advantage.
Thank you. 24, sir.
Okay, yeah. So you're sniffing around. You're sniffing around the main cart where the explosion is, and you smell a combination of magic, death, burnt skin, char, ash, and you're looking through, and one thing that you know for certain is that this explosion was magic in nature. Whether that's potion or spell, you're not sure, but you know for certain it's magic in nature. And I think you're in the center of this wreckage, kind of like sniffing down, and I think you sniff up and you smell it. You smell that same magic, but it's not here in the cart. It's over to the left and down, and that's when the second wagon explodes. And that's where we're gonna end this episode.
Oh goodness.
What?
Hey guys, thanks for letting me tell you a story.
You're welcome.
Curse you for ending what you did.
Yeah.
Shane, if you'll do me a favor and let's do a roll for humanity for
I'd love to.
Abled Gamers.
Abled Gamers, we're hitting with that 16. Rolling a 16 this month for Abled Gamers. Really make a difference for folks out there with disabilities who want to game and don't have the connections that they are able to make those accommodations happen so they can do that. Well, Abled Gamers coming in, fixing it with $16. But not just my $16. Also, you're between $1 and $20. Or between $1 and $10, or between $1 and $12, or between $1 and $6, or between $1 and $4, or between $1 and $2.
Or your dollar.
Flip a coin. You can just do something, though.
And like we end all C4 episodes, I end you with a quote of wisdom. A quote to improve your life, if you haven't heard it already, though this is a little more common one, but I do enjoy it. If you only have a hammer, you tend to see every problem as a nail. By Abraham Maslow. True. I will let you do whatever you want with this one.
Was it not you and I used that quote in a conversation recently, within the last week, and somebody, a dear friend of mine, had responded like, oh, I'd never heard it before, I'm gonna use that every day now. And I was like, you don't
that definitely wasn't me, because I actually love this quote in the technical world. Because people will throw solutions at stuff, and I'm like, fuck man, everything's a nail if you got that hammer.
What it sounds like is you just need a whole bunch of different tools, because you're going to run into screws and weird bolts and who knows what sits. There are more problems out in the world than just nails.
It's a very practical outlook.
You need a nail gun, is what I'm hearing. That just really gets it done.
There's a line in Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
Oh my god.
Okay.
The protagonist is a guy called Captain Hammer. And there's a line where he goes, hammer, meet nail. And I'm like, oh, he gets me every time. He's like, you're the hammer, I'm the nail. You've been beating on me for years, but now it's my time.
I like that
really
version. That's good.
Yeah,
That's a good show. If you haven't seen that, if you haven't seen
it's really.
I recommend it.
You can go watch it on YouTube.
It's called Dr. Horrible Sing Along Blog. It's Neil Patrick Harris and Nathan Fillion is Captain Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's kind of the Nathan Fillion I was channeling during
Yep.
during Final Girl.
Yep. And it's got Felicia Day in it as well.
Felicia Day is there,
and it's a musical. It's so good. The songs in it are so good.
Fantastic. Hey, listen to Dr. Ghost.
That horse.
It's so good.
We got your application.
I know what I'm listening to tomorrow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Whoa.
Awesome. Well, I say what we always say, and I lead you into the final part of each episode. We love you.
We love you.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.